Prepare to step into a world where imagination knows no bounds as we present Legends, Loot, and Lore. Join your hosts, Andrew and Joe, the dice-rolling dynamic duo who will guide you every step of the way into the realm of Dungeons & Dragons. From crafting narratives to character creation, this podcast is your gateway to becoming the hero of your own story. Whether you're a new adventurer or a seasoned traveler seeking new insights, Legends, Loot, and Lore has something for everyone. After the episode, visit our website at www.legendslootandlore.com for even more resources and exclusive content. And if you're as passionate about this adventure as we are, help support our quest at legendslootandlore.supercast.com. Embark on this odyssey with us and let the echoes of ancient tales guide you toward a destiny filled with limitless possibilities. Roll for initiative, because your adventure begins now.
Welcome, one and all, to another fantastic episode of Legends, Loot, and Lore. I won't spoil the surprise. We have a very special guest in the recording studio today with us. But first of all, Joe, welcome. Welcome back.
Andrew, good to see you as always. And everybody out there in D&D land, hello.
We are back from a very happy Thanksgiving. Joe, how was yours?
I had a fantastic day with my family. How was yours?
It was terrible. No, I'm kidding. It was very nice. Catherine made a beautiful feast. It was just amazing. It was delicious.
Well done, Catherine.
She made me extra stuffing, which I'm really thrilled about. So that's always exciting.
I had a good one. I made my turkey, and I think was the best turkey I made yet.
You were telling us about this earlier, so tell us your secret, Joe.
So the turkey bags, do you cook them in the bags? Well, the bags tell you, the bag instructions say, cut a hole in the bag. I didn't do it this year per some stuff I saw online, and it came out perfect. 20-pound turkey, 4.5 hours later, beautiful.
Interesting.
I hope everybody out there had a good Thanksgiving too. Yeah,
that's a good tip for everybody. Yeah. See, we are not just a D&D podcast. We are now branching off into cooking as well. There'll be a cooking segment now.
Don't tempt me. I will start doing it from Heroes Feast book, and I'll start cooking different items, and we'll bringing them over, and we'll have them at our adventures.
I think that's a fantastic idea. We should have a food segment and cook the different things, because they're coming out with a second cookbook.
I saw that. Yeah.
So I think that's a perfect opportunity to make some food and try it out. Why not?
Things are a little hectic right now, but we'll look at that in the new year.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not going to.
We'll add it as a segment to one of the other episodes.
Right. Exactly. I'm all for that. I'm all for food. So excellent. So today's episode, we are first going to talk about this week's adventure campaign. We are then going to dive into creating our third character for our actual play segments when we go through this, so everybody gets a feel for how to play a level 1 character. We'll go through leveling up and all that fun stuff throughout the episodes, but we're going to create a Tiefling Cleric, so kind of a hybrid. We need a healer. We determined that we needed a healer in the party because between the two of us, we're going to die.
Well, yeah, I mean, neither of our characters had any great constitution, and both of us were.
I got no strength.
Nobody has any kind of healing. It's like, hey, we need to pick up a lot of potions.
Yeah, so we determined that we were going to create a third character.
And Catherine, you have to be a ruthless DM. Don't let us use a bonus action to drink a potion. We need a full action to do that.
Catherine can't respond. She doesn't have a microphone.
I'm saying, I'm putting it out there in the land so that she can hear it when she listens to the podcast and she can remember.
She doesn't listen to the podcast.
Oh,
I know. She's got enough of her own podcast.
The rest of you other people, please do.
Yes, please.
Listen. We beg of you, listen.
So they're already listening, Joe. You can't beg the people that are listening to listen because they're already listening.
Please listen to us in the future.
Please, no. The thing is, please share this podcast with your friends. There you go. See,
and you know what? Share it with your enemies too.
Share it with the enemies. Absolutely.
Maybe you can find some common ground to come together this holiday season in bonding over our podcast.
There you have it. Our podcast is bringing people together.
Anyway, so
amen to that. God bless us, everyone. So, to make a long story just slightly longer, we invited a special guest to to help us create our Tiefling Cleric, because we have a Tiefling expert in-house with us, traveling through the Neverwinter to our house.
Great distances.
Great distances. All the way from next door is our friend Fable. Hi, Fable.
Hi.
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 Don't be
Welcome.
shy.
Welcome to the podcast. We are so excited to have you here and share your love and expertise of tieflings and clerics as well. So this is very exciting. We'll get to all of this in a moment, but how excited are you to create yet another tiefling?
Very excited.
Very.
I think the hardest part was picking out which tiefling design I should use. There's so many.
Got it. So you're an art, not only a D&D player, but a talented artist. So you start with the artwork of the tiefling and then go from there, correct?
Yeah, art first, character sheet later. They don't have a name until they have a character sheet, is how it goes.
Got it. All right. Well, we will get all into that. For now, bum ba bum.
Drum roll. Da, 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 da.
That's right. We are going to talk about this week's adventure in the campaign of what is our campaign again, Joe?
Tyranny of Dragons.
Tyranny of Dragons.
We really got to name your adventure group in this one. On Monday we should throw it out hey, we need names for the adventure group this time, so we can start calling it by that.
Yes, I named our adventuring party for whatever we're gonna play Phandelver and Below. So
Yep.
I called us the Heroes of Havoc because I have a tendency to think that that's what's going to. I have a feeling we're going to be creating some havoc.
Are we revealing what characters we're playing, or are we going to wait until we start playing?
Why don't we say that for the end of this episode?
Okay.
We'll break it down
Because I have a comment about what you named it, but I don't want to make the comment because it'll reveal. So we'll save that for the reveal for the end of the episode.
That's for last.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know about the best, but it'll be an interesting. So anyway,
It's something for last.
Yes.
Whether that's best, who knows?
So in the Tyranny of Dragons saga,
Yes. We are still in the tomb /
temple of Daedarius. I think it is. So you guys last time defeated the well, not last time, 2 times ago you defeated the mosaic of the
Chimera Mosaic.
Yep.
Yes.
And then you guys continued
The ancient web browser. We defeated it.
the ancient web browser.
Don't you remember Mosaic?
No.
Is that are you
I might
too young for that?
No, I can't be that young. I just never heard of Mosaic.
Wow. Okay.
I'm
dating myself.
That's a new one. I mean, I remember Ash Jeeves. I remember what was the dog one again?
Well, that's a search engine. That's not a browser. Mosaic was the actual Internet Explorer and those. Mosaic was.
It's ringing a bell, but I have no visual memory of it. But anyway,
That's okay.
so anyway,
Like I said, I'm dating myself. Go ahead. I apologize.
so you guys were standing in the middle of this room after you had defeated it, and you had 3 potential passageways to
Yes.
go through. To the north was a doorway that said "safe."
No to the. See,
Sorry,
this
was
what was confusing the hell out of us.
Yeah, it was because the north was pointing
north
to
was
the
to
right.
the right, yes.
So it was to the west, which was the upward direction. Was a
Right.
room that said "safe,"
Correct.
but the door was closed. To the north was a double door, a wooden banded iron that was bulging, but you couldn't tell what was actually bulging it. And then to the east was a hallway that went downward, and it dropped 15 feet before you could stop seeing what you were actually seeing.
Right.
Eventually, after much discussion and debate,
Much.
this is really typical of you guys. You guys end up talking about everything, and then
We overthink these decisions.
no offense, Bill. Bill starts the conversation, and then everybody else gets involved, and all of a sudden, it's either Kat or you. Just I'm going over this way. Who's coming with me?
It's like let's just do this. It's
Yeah.
just I didn't feel so. So I'm of the school that if this is a temple, tomb, and there are tons of dead bodies of people that have not made it through this place. I feel that somebody marking a door safe, I don't trust it.
Exactly.
And a bulging door, I don't trust it. Like
Exactly.
so, I'm like, I don't feel good about either one of these decisions. But
So you guys went to the door that was marked safe.
yes,
And-
well, Bill did. I stayed back.
Well, you hung
The rest
back.
of us hung back. Bill was like, okay,
Bill was like, I'm going to go in here. I was
Exactly.
Like, okay, it's safe. It's obviously safe.
it says safe.
So
Must
you walk,
be safe.
you walk in there, and the door actually says, the room actually has another writing on another wall that says safe. And then above the door, on the wall,
Yes.
was a basin that was brass that was attached to the wall
Right.
with a lever next to it. Mm-hmm. And the well had water in it about 20 feet down. So you had a bucket on there so you could pull the water up.
Right.
However, after about, I think it was less than a minute, I think it was like a couple of seconds, the water disappears. You pull it up out of the bucket and it disappears.
Right.
So eventually, Bill got the idea. He had an ability to create a water elemental temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
He had the water elemental fill up the bucket, pour it into the basin,
Right.
which activated the lever, which poured the water down into the wall because there was a hole in the wall that the basin drained into.
Right.
And you could hear it draining through. Nobody could figure out where it was going at the time. Still to this day, nobody knows.
We do not know.
So then you came back out,
Yes.
and then Bill took his water elemental and had the water elemental squeeze through the empty space on the other side of the door that was bulging, and was able to determine that there was a giant boulder sitting right on the other side of the door.
Mm-hmm.
So it was decided, no, this is not a safe idea to go through this door either. Then everybody was looking at the hallway that went downward. So they're saying, how do we go through here? Finally, Frank was like, you know what? I'm just going to go down and I'm going to start looking for traps.
Right. Smart man.
Frank did find a trap.
Yes, he did.
Everybody avoided it.
Thank God. Well, he disarmed the trap.
Well, did he disarm it? Or
He
did
disarmed- he disarmed the trap.
Then, as you got down in there, you were in another room.
Mm-hmm.
In this room, there was a small hole in the wall that only a small statured creature could get through. And as Thoradin is a small statured creature as a dwarf, he went through and he got into another room on the other side of the wall. And he was like, okay, there's really nothing here. Some storage containers. There's nothing really of note in here.
Right.
Then he starts looking around, sees a doorway out of that room, and it expands into a larger building, which turned out to be the building on the outside of
I'm
the temple.
like, this is starting to look familiar.
Exactly. And as it was recognized to be the same place,
Right.
Thoradin came back in.
Right.
Then you guys went east into another room, which had a bunch of sarcophaguses in there.
Sarcophagi
Sarcophagi. Thank you for the correction.
or sarcophagirl. I mean, I'm not.
In this case, it's just the plurality of sarcophagus.
How do we know his name is Gus?
So then Bill, I believe it was Bill, heard something in the back of his head that told him that as you walk out of the room, you have to, as you open the door to leave the room, you have to hold your hand in a certain way that this certain religion did back in the day. And he opened the door and he walked out. And everybody kind of followed him into what appears to be a throne room.
Right.
As you get into the throne room, you see a pile of treasure at the center of the room in front of the throne, and a 12-foot man sitting on the stone on the throne who asks,
Right.
and I'm paraphrasing, leave a donation if you want to get your wisdom, get advice.
Right.
And everybody was kind
This
of...
is like Zoltar. Like you got to put a quarter in the machine.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be big.
Get your future. Get your wish.
Is this going to be Thoradin's wish? He wants to get big?
Maybe that'd be hysterical.
An 8-foot dwarf.
Right.
So after a lot of, again, continued debate about what to do and how to go about it, everybody else left the room so Frank could do some experimentation. And Frank took some of the treasure and he walked around the room and nothing happened. Then he took some of the treasure and he threw it out of the room, and we're entering combat.
That's right. Speaking of big, what's his name, Catherine?
Tom Hanks?
No. The kid from Big.
Oh, David Moscow.
David Moscow. We saw David Moscow today. He was talking about his new book at the new Barnes and Noble.
Really?
That just opened up in Paramus.
Interesting.
Yes. So coming full circle.
Yes. So that
Sorry,
was that's okay. That's okay.
I felt I had to mention that.
So you were about to enter combat, but at the time that it was kind of late, and the combat was going to last a while, so we called it a night there. Well, at least we advanced through the dungeon. That
makes me a little nervous. You're like, this is going to last a long time.
Well, I don't know about a long time. It's going to last a while because there's some shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Okay, so can you
shenanigans?
Can I roll for persuasion for you to like tell me, give me a hint as to what the shenanigans might be?
Catherine, I need a number. Or actually, Fable, I need a number 16 to 25.
17.
Okay. You get no bonuses. It's a straight roll.
D20?
Yes.
All right. I'll roll my Thoradin D20. That will legitimately be a nat 20.
Wow.
That will be a nat 20.
So the influence, the clue that you will have about this combat is you didn't see that coming.
You didn't see that coming. That's the clue.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see if I can think of another one, but I don't want to say something without giving it away.
I was going to say that doesn't seem like
that's not really enough of a clue.
Like a sufficient clue for a nat 20. Like, I mean, that was a legitimate 20. Like, that was an unmodified 20. Just
you should have done that again. No. That's the clue.
Oh, 12.
The clue is you should have done that again.
Okay.
That's the clue.
Okay.
There you go.
I like that.
All right. Back to
okay. So
Dal
that concludes our weekly adventure. Let's get ready to rumble.
No. Let's get ready to fable.
What was that, Fable?
So creative.
Right? That was amazing. All right. So now our resident expert, Fable, we are going to go back to D&D Beyond for our character creation of our third character, which is, we have determined already. Normally we roll some of this for the randomness, but we knew we wanted a healer, so we settled on cleric. And
right.
What better than to have Fable here to talk about tieflings, since we haven't done a tiefling yet, and they are one of the basic races. So, I mean, I feel it's rude to call them basic, but
basic. They're the best.
They're the best. They're the best of the basic.
They're a basic race in the fact that they're in the basic rules. Right.
This tiefling is not ordering a pumpkin spice latte at all.
Black coffee only. Black tea.
Coffee. What would be, Fable, what would be this tiefling's drink of choice if they drove through Starbucks?
A tea, like Earl Grey. I'm getting Earl Grey.
Ooh,
I love Earl Grey.
Earl Grey.
It is almost it is the tea I drink almost exclusively.
Chai.
I was thinking
chai,
yeah.
They're a tea gal.
Okay.
Cool. Something with the Oriental kind of like Oriental healing is what I was thinking, because this is a cleric. And so you've played healers before.
Yeah, the character I play, Cherish, in my own campaign is a cleric and also a tiefling. So I have experience.
Experience as a healer.
Yeah.
Yes. That's why Fable is the expert as far as both tieflings and healers is concerned. So why not go to the expert when creating one of these?
Absolutely.
All right, so let's do this. So some of this has already been determined by our expert. So when we go through this, we're not going to randomize as much stuff as we normally do, and we will refer to Fable for the color commentary on what. First of all, let's start with what's the name.
The name is Dal Solice.
Dal Solice, great name, and why? Fable, please share with us what Dal Solice's name means. What's the origin of your name for this character?
Well, Dal means moon, and there's a reason for that. We'll see later, I guess. And Solice, or however the hell you pronounce it, is because you find like solace in like the healer.
I think that's excellent. I think that's an excellent.
Agreed.
I love when there's meaning behind the names, because we just randomly generated.
Yep.
Like Bemble Bomble, like there's no meaning whatsoever behind that. But this actually has some meaning. So it's nice that you put a lot of thought and effort into your character creation. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I always put meaning behind the names. It's like the best part. I've been through so many baby naming forums.
That's great. It's one of the best ways to find names.
Are these characters your babies?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so let's go through the first sheet. So we've got the name of the character, and we're going to leave all the content
Preferences, yeah.
sources there, because we're not going to really deal with that. We're going to enable digital dice rolling, because we're going to use that in a little bit. Joe, we haven't talked about this. For the upcoming campaign, are we going to do milestone or XP for Phandelver and Below? What's your opinion?
My opinion has always been milestone for newer players, but I am definitely down for doing the XP in this one. We'll have to keep track of our XP, but hey, that's kind of the point.
Okay, so I mean,
The real question is, how difficult will it be for Catherine to tell us what the XP is? Because in the book, is it listing the XP per combat, or is it something she would have to look up and record? And
I would have to look into the module to see that, but it might just be easier for Catherine to do it milestone based.
I think so.
So instead of trying to calculate every little creature that we kill, how much XP there is, maybe just milestone based would be. I think that'll simplify.
I agree.
Gameplay. So we'll leave advancement type as milestone. We're going to change hit point type to manual.
Yep.
So we'll manually roll hit points when we do level up. Use prerequisites. We're going to just leave all that alone. Encumbrance we will use. We are going to ignore coin weight.
Yep.
And I'll just leave that. So we're going to leave it as the modifiers. We'll leave the modifiers on top.
Yep.
And we're going to leave the character privacy on public so we can share this. And let's go next. All right, so the
Tiefling traits.
The Tiefling traits. So, Fable, do you want to discuss some of these? So Tiefling, the basic traits they get are dark vision. So how do you use dark vision much when you're playing with your characters, or how do you use that?
We haven't encountered a situation of that much. Like our party, all of us besides one have dark vision. I think it came up only once. So it makes life easier, though we did have to find a light spell for our human wizard.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like Joe and I were commenting on that when we were talking about all the different basic races or species that I feel like they just throw dark vision at almost every single one of them. And it's humans are one of the only ones that don't have dark vision, but everybody's got dark vision. It's everybody gets dark vision. It's like Oprah. It's the Oprah feature to your characters. Now, what about Hellish resistance? The resistance to fire damage. How have you taken advantage of that feature of your tieflings? I have
taken advantage of that.
How so?
Combat.
Yeah.
Our wizard is a fireball fanatic.
Okay, I'm liking this wizard.
Yeah, he's chaotic evil, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been a couple times where he does not care if the party gets in the way of his spells as long as it hits its target.
Okay, well, I mean that sounds pretty chaotic and somewhat evil. They're really focused on whatever it is they want to do. That's pretty interesting. So at least you get resistance, so you get half. So as a reminder to everybody out there listening, so resistance to certain things gives you half the damage that you normally would take for something like this. So if there were 30 points of fire damage, you would only take 15 of those hit points of fire damage. So saving yourself from fireball is very, very helpful. I remember that one time when I cast fireball in a library, not wisely thinking that everything is made of paper and wood. That was fun.
Burn down a ancient repository of knowledge.
Good you. That's just messed up.
He was. He was not thinking. He was panicking.
Yeah, I was. It was. I'm not going to get into that.
We all have our moments.
That's right. I was again very focused on
Shim Sham?
on destroying the enemy.
I forget the name of that
You and
creature. I
Richard
think it
have
was the
stuff in
Shim
common,
Sham.
then.
What's that?
You and Richard have stuff in common.
Yes.
That's the wizard's name.
Richard the Wizard.
Yep.
He just likes to burn things.
He does.
Pyromaniac.
He's an arsonist. He has all fire spells.
That's
It's
fantastic.
become a problem.
Well, that's great that he actually is focusing in and theming his character that way.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
That's all right. And last but not least, Infernal Legacy.
This is great because
Yes.
you get the thaumaturgy cantrip, which is useful in certain different circumstances about like minor illusions and stuff, minor little tricks that you can do with it. But when you reach the 3rd level, you can cast Hellish Rebuke. And that's when somebody hits you as a reaction, you can cast this spell. Have you used this a lot?
All the time.
Isn't
I
it
love
great?
it. It's one of my favorites.
Is it really?
It's so good.
Nice. So are there any specific memories you have of casting Hellish Rebuke or
Yes, actually.
Oh, do tell. We've got other guests on the podcast. That would be Jordy and Fizban, who are flying through the studio here. Yes, so regale us with your tales of using Hellish Rebuke.
Well, actually, it was like, 2 weeks ago? We were doing
Mm-hmm.
our 10-hour-long
Yes.
sessions. It's chaotic. We were fighting a snow man and like his little snow golems. And the great part about it was they are vulnerable to fire, so we're really able to kick them in the butt.
Yes. Very nice. Always take out those snowmen.
Every time somebody touched you, you kind of just burned them away.
Yeah, it was nice that, me and Richard banded together with our fire spells and it went way easier than it could have been.
So a good use of a pyromaniac. Excellent.
Yeah. We're in a very snowy area right now, so
That's
been nice.
that's a perfect place for a fire wizard. All right, so those are the key basic traits that you get as a tiefling. Moving on to some of the best parts here. So we're going to talk about all of the character, like the class
Features.
Class features. Thank you. I'm spacing on the word there.
That's
Thanks,
okay,
Joe.
Andrew.
Thank you.
That's all right.
It's what happens when you get old.
And you're talking take 3.
So Fable, tell us about you've chosen the life domain cleric. So fill us in as to why the life domain cleric.
I didn't think about it too much. Honestly, you needed a healer for this, and that life domain's the way to go for that.
Well, there you go. That's
You get
very
so many.
very simple math.
I mean, it really is, right? Because as a life domain cleric, you get so many extra bonuses every time you cast a spell for healing. So it just cranks up.
Yes. So let's talk about these class features for the life domain cleric. So with the hit points, the hit dice is a 1d8.
Yeah. Plus your constitution modifier for how many hit points you get each level.
Yes. And then so it's hit points at higher levels, again, 1d8 plus constitution per cleric level after the first, because you get your full 1d8
Correct.
hit points.
Hit points to start, plus your constitution modifier to start. Right.
Yes. So let's talk about proficiencies. So,
Light armor,
yes.
medium armor,
Yes.
and shields.
Whoa.
All make sense on the basis that a cleric tends to be a warrior and is paladin's more of a Templar type of person, I think, but this is where you're standing in there. You're going to be in the fray, but you're also going to use your actions to heal. So you need to be able to hold up.
Yes. So Fable, do your clerics usually wear armor or?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, what kind?
I'm forgetting what. I really only play one character.
Well, predominantly you play Cherish.
Yes.
Which is your primary character. So does Cherish wear any armor?
They do. I'm forgetting what type it is, but it's like a proficient one, so
Nice.
it's probably medium armor.
Excellent. Good. Well, good choice.
What kind of weapon does Cherish use?
They have daggers.
Daggers?
Yes.
Ooh.
So it goes regular attack and then bonus action for the second attack? Or is it throwing the dice?
Throwing.
Oh, interesting. So in general,
yes,
the cleric gets proficiency in simple weapons, which is what a dagger fits into that exactly the way it is.
No tool proficiency.
Nope.
The proficiencies on your saving throws are wisdom and charisma. So now skills, we have to choose 2. So we have to choose from history, insight, medicine, persuasion, and religion for our proficiencies. So Fable, you chose medicine and persuasion. Care to share why? Out of all of those.
I mean, I thought they made most sense, but I also didn't know if we'd change it, and I needed to put something for me to like finish the character sheet. So if you want to roll for them, feel free.
Honestly, I'm comfortable with you picking them and leaving them as is, but I mean, because we did the fully like random for both of our characters, so it's up to you, Andrew.
Well, let's talk about this. So medicine obviously makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense. Persuasion is an interesting one. I'm also thinking like history and religion.
Yeah, I was
are interesting ones for a healer.
I was kind of stuck between history and persuasion, actually.
See, I like the persuasion because it's like the other 2 characters that we have don't really have a ton of persuasion. Okay. Or at least one of them doesn't. I guess the other one does have a little bit of persuasion. I don't care. I'm happy with persuasion.
The warlock is high on charisma.
That's true. I forgot about that. So I don't care. I'm good with medicine persuasion, but if you wanna mix up the persuasion one and put in something else, I'm okay with that.
Well, let's look at.
Well, actually, you know what might help out? If we jump to the background, because the background will give you other proficiencies, and if we pick a background real quick that has something to do with.
Well, I was just going to look at Iquium to see. I mean, Iquium does not have proficiency in persuasion, and we do have the charisma. We have 15 on charisma, so it's not that great. So persuasion could be a good one if we're trying to. Persuade somebody.
Persuade people, yeah. We need somebody who's going to be the voice of reason if things get too dicey.
True.
Smooth talker.
True.
But either way, I'm good with it.
And it could be interesting to have a tiefling be the one trying to do the persuading because, again, tieflings have that kind of...
prejudice.
Yeah, there's a lot of prejudice as far as tieflings are
not
concerned.
By me in the game world, not by me.
Joe. We know how you feel about tieflings.
So let's leave it as persuasion. I think that adds a nice little irony then too.
Yeah. Next thing is we've got excellent. So we got that. So next thing are spell casting. So we've got the whole deal on spell casting at first level. 3 cantrips,
and then the number of spells that we start out with is equal to. Where is it? I just saw it. The wisdom modifier plus your cleric level. So whatever we end up with the wisdom modifier score, plus 1 at this point because we're level 1, that's how many spells we can have prepared.
Yep.
And if I'm not mistaken, we actually know the entire spell list, and we switch out what spells that we want during a long rest.
Is that how it works for a cleric?
I'm going to look at that Fable.
I think so. I have my spells and I stick with them because I like them a lot. So.
You've got your go-to spells at this point.
I have my go-tos.
Yeah.
Inflict wounds, man. You can't give it up.
Inflict wounds is a good one.
It's my favorite.
All right. So wisdom is the spell casting ability. Spell save DC is 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier.
Here it is. You can change your list prepared spells when you finish a long rest. I was the same way when I was playing my wizard. I never changed my spells until I was able to learn a new one. And most of the time, I kept going with my cantrips. Toll the Dead. It was like my go-to cantrip all the time.
Toll the Dead's good.
I love that one.
Ooh, so the other thing is you can use a holy symbol as a spell casting focus for your cleric spells. Now we have to look at the adventuring gear section later to determine this. Do you use a holy symbol?
With Cherish, I don't.
No?
No, I have a Cherish lore item for that one.
Got it.
Did you want this tiefling to follow any particular deity?
I did have one picked out, and that's why I said we'd talk about the name thing later.
The name ties into that.
So
Yes,
so I'm good I'm good if you want to take that particular deity. I was thinking, I should say, that particular deity's
Are you giving
symbol.
permission? You giving permission, Joe?
No, that's why I changed my wording.
I see.
I was thinking that particular deity, whatever it may be ideal, whatever their symbol is, to be the holy symbol.
I think that would work.
Okay, whatever we want.
Well, you've got the tattoo.
I do have the tattoo.
Yeah. So we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
We'll get to that. So that's everything on spell casting. The divine domain, which we already talked about, the life domain.
Yep.
And the bonus proficiency. So when you choose this domain at first level, you gain proficiency with heavy armor.
Which is really good because it means that the character can stay into the combat longer. Do you know if Cherish was using heavy armor?
No, it was medium.
It was a medium. Okay.
I double checked it.
The problem with heavy armor, notoriously being that almost all heavy armor, unless it's magically enchanted, puts disadvantage on stealth rolls.
Right.
Then moving on to the Disciple of Life.
Yes, the Disciple of Life. Let's talk about the Disciple of Life, Joe.
Starting at first level, your healing spells are more effective. Whenever you use a spell of the first level or higher to restore hit points to a creature, that creature regains an additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level.
Woo. That's so exciting.
It is. And this is really good too because most lower level healing spells have some trouble getting enough healing in there. So a nice little bonus.
There's nothing like a healing bonus.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So that covers all of the
cleric class features.
The cleric class features. Now let's cross over to spells. So there's a lot going on here. So let's talk about this. My goodness.
She got some good ones here.
So what do we got? Oh,
so prepare 2 spells too many.
you got many extra prepared spells that we're going to have to.
Well, no, it's just 2.
Just two extras. So we'll have to remove those. So let's talk about the cantrips first. So you picked 3 cantrips, which is guidance.
Great cantrip.
Guidance is a great one. So why do you like guidance, Fable?
I've never really used it.
No?
No.
All right.
It seemed like a good option.
It really is. When the cleric remembers to use it at the appropriate times, it really fits in and gives a lot of bonus to whoever is making. I believe it's a skill check. Ability check. So a skill check. Anytime somebody's trying to do an ability check, you get an extra D4. The target rolls the D4.
Okay.
And gets a little extra bonus to their check. Very helpful.
Excellent. But you've got to be within. It's a
touch spell.
It's a touch spell. So you
got to be able to reach out and touch that person.
Yes, reach out, and touch someone.
It's almost like putting your hand on somebody's shoulder, saying, "Hey, man, you got this."
Exactly. That's and see that should like that should have to use like your charisma bonus. Like, I almost feel like that's like a great bard
or if
bard spell.
Or if you think about it, since it's guidance, it could be more of an intelligence or a wisdom on that basis, because you'd be like, look, I'm going to provide guidance to you while you do this. Hey, I'm trying to speak with animal handling. Hey, be careful. Dogs don't do this. Don't like that. Like it would be like additional guidance. So that could be a wisdom or anything. Spare the dying.
Spare the dying. Great spell for a healer.
A given.
Yes. So again, you touch a living creature that has 0 hit points. That creature becomes stable.
So no longer needing the death saving throws.
Yes. It has no effect on undead or constructs.
Right.
Fortunately, neither one of us are undead or a construct, so we're in luck.
We're in good shape. And my favorite.
Well, you should have the thaumaturgy.
Because it doesn't get
Cantrip.
listed with the spells,
Right.
Because it's a racial thing.
Got it.
And I think it's actually at 2nd level that she gets what was the name?
Thaumaturgy?
No, the character's name.
Dal.
Dal gets it at 2nd level. I think it kicks in.
I thought that was an immediate.
Maybe it was, but whatever way, it's because it's the racial factor. It's not part of the
I
regular.
think you get it immediately.
I think you do.
It might be, but because it's the racial factor, it's not listed on the regular spells. It's under the racial features.
Got it. So Toll of the Dead. So
My fave.
Why? Why is Toll of the Dead your favorite?
I just love the whole concept of it. Plus, it starts out with a D8 and goes to a D12 if the enemy is already wounded. So you get 2D8. Oh no, sorry, 1D8 or 1D12 damage if the person fails their wisdom saving throw.
Interesting. So Fable, have you used this spell before?
I've not, but I'm really excited to use it.
You've never used it before?
No, I have not used it. It wasn't an option for Cherish until recently.
So I was corny about this. So when I was playing my wizard, it was my go-to spell. I would always play For Whom the Bell Tolls by Metallica in the background, just that dong every time that Whom the Bell Tolls.
Oh, I see. I think I know why.
It was in the
So
book, right?
we're playing a little off book on this one because these are not spells that are found in the basic rules.
So that's why it wasn't available to
That's
Cherish.
why it's not available to that's why it wasn't available to Cherish. So we're going a little off booking for this character, but that's all right.
That's all right.
This is the expanded universe of D&D.
So those are the cantrips.
So those are the three cantrips. So let's go into the first level spells now.
So real quick, the overview: Charmed, Detect Magic, Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, Shield of Faith. Officially, only allowed to have 3. So we'll go through all of them and figure out which one we want, which two
we can reorganize.
Yes. So you got Command, which is one of your ones that's prepared, which is a really interesting one. You can speak a 1-word command to a creature you can see within range. The target has to succeed on a wisdom saving throw or follow the command on its next turn. It can't do anything that's harmful to it, but provided it doesn't, the spell has no effect if the target's undead. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't understand, here's another key, it has to understand your language.
Right.
So it has to be able to understand your language to follow the command. Another exciting spell. Command will be fun. I like that one. Detect Magic, I think, is a really good one.
Fantastic, because if you ever come across something and the DM says, well, this is magical. Well, what kind of magic? What does it do?
Right.
Detect Magic takes all the guesswork out of it.
If you sense magic in this way, you can use you get the sense of presence of magic within 30 feet. So you get a faint aura around any visible creature or object that has or bears magic, which is really interesting. And you learn its school of magic. So there's a lot of helpful things here. And this is interesting. The spell can penetrate most barriers, but is blocked by 1 foot of stone, 1 inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood or dirt.
It's kind of a little bit like Superman. Can't see through lead.
Yeah, but you can see through everything else.
Right.
I know.
So sort of like Superman.
That's why I said it's kind of like Superman.
Kind of. It is kind of like Superman. Same concept. So I think Detect Magic is a solid choice for a prepared spell. Guiding Bolt.
I know way too many people who take this spell. It is such a good spell. On a hit, 4d6 radiant damage. The next attacks roll is got advantage on the target. I mean, why wouldn't you take this?
I don't know, Joe. Why wouldn't you take this?
Oh, you would.
Exactly. They did. You did.
Classic. It's a cult classic.
Yes,
Excellent. So So that's 3 already.
Right.
So now you've got inflict wounds, which is make a melee spell attack against a creature you can reach. On a hit, the target takes 3d10 necrotic damage.
Huge.
Now, so the interesting thing about this, again, you've got to be in melee range. So it's you've got to be right up on them. I mean, it's a huge amount of damage for a first level spell.
It's my go-to. I use it all the time. It's my favorite.
And then what about Shield of Faith? A shimmering field surrounds a creature of your choice, granting it a +2 bonus to AC for the duration. So,
Fable, if you had your choice, which 2 would you take off? Well, it is your choice.
It is your choice.
Which 2 would you instinctively take off?
I don't know. I would say detect magic, but that's a good one. The problem is the campaign I came from, we don't really use spells in like a role play setting. So I have to get in the mindset that I will use some of these spells.
right.
Well, that would definitely be command. Command would definitely be a lot more of a role play spell. I personally don't care too much for detect magic. I think it kind of costs too much to do what it does, because it doesn't give you more specifics. But that's just me.
It really feels like it should be a cantrip.
Yeah. Like maybe take away the ability to tell what type of school of magic it is and use detect magic just to see if there's magical auras.
Right.
But that's just my thoughts on detect magic.
I'm down to take off detect magic.
Okay, we're going to take off. We're going to unprepare detect magic.
Okay. So
We got one more one that we can
that we need to remove.
Is
Shield of Faith a full round action? Or is it bonus?
It's a bonus.
It's a bonus.
Oh,
It's a bonus action.
Good
so that
keep
one's kind of,
around.
you hang on to that one. So then that leaves Guiding Bolt, Inflict Wounds, Command, those 3. Unless you,
I would probably drop command. That would be my
I'd drop
personal
command.
thought. Because again, it only lasts the one round. Like if it were a concentration spell,
Yeah.
and you could make them stand still for up to a minute, a half hour, an hour, something like that, that would be great. But yeah,
that's why I said it's kind of a role play thing, because you can use it in like sneaking around someplace and trying to get past a guard or something like that.
right. Okay, so,
All right, so that's spells.
wow. So now we've got so the prepared spells, we got guidance as a cantrip, spare the dying as a cantrip, and toll the dead as the 3 cantrips.
Right.
Then we've got bless, because some of these are
Built into the healing domain.
yes. So you got bless as a first level concentration. So you can bless up to 3 creatures of your choice within range. Whenever a target makes an attack roll or a saving throw before the spell ends, the target can roll a d4 and add that number rolled to the attack roll or saving throw.
Now that lasts up to a minute. It's concentration, so you can't cast a second concentration spell.
Right.
However, a minute is 10 rounds of combat, which is a long time in combat. So that's a great thing to have, because they can just put that in their back pocket.
Yes. We got cure wounds, guiding bolt, inflict wounds. So you can cure and inflict wounds. That's great. I like that. All right, so we're down to those. You've got 8 prepared spells, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on from the class features and spells on to the fun part.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes, the ability scores. All right, so we're going to so Fable, you just plugged some in here when
I
you
put
were
some random ones.
Yes.
It wouldn't let me view the character sheet without
otherwise.
Without it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to reset these.
Well, roll them up.
All right. And let's see what we got.
A 12.
A 12. Okay.
Not bad.
Whoa.
Spinning around. Another
Another
12.
12.
An
All right,
8.
there's an 8. That could be tough. A 15.
Okay, 15.
There we go. That's nice. That's nice.
11. A 16.
That's
Okay.
bad.
All right. I like this.
That's not bad.
So which ability do you want to be terrible at?
Well, let's start from the let's start from the top and work our way down. So I definitely think that charisma should or wisdom should be the 16. So we've got the 6 numbers we have are 12, 12, 8, 15, 11, and 16.
Yep.
So I think 16 should definitely be wisdom.
Absolutely.
That would be the way to go with that. Now it was, what were the
wisdom and intelligence, I think it was.
Yeah, intelligence.
Well, here's the thing. Well,
I think we should go with Constitution in this case because clerics tend to be close to combat.
I definitely think you want to think about AC and HP on this character.
Yeah, I'm checking online. Constitution should be up there.
That's the recommendation is Constitution. So don't forget we get a racial bonus, a +1 to intelligence, and a +2 to charisma. So just keep those in mind. So we're going to talk about putting 15 as the Constitution.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Now this is probably what I would do. I would probably put the 11 on intelligence.
Round it up to a 12.
Because it rounds up to a 12. So then you get the +1 that way.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that, Fable?
I think that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then by that same logic, I think the best bet is to take that 8 and put it into your charisma.
Yeah.
So with the modifier, you don't end up with any negatives on your rolls.
Right. I think that makes perfect sense.
So then that leaves strength and dexterity for 12s.
For 12s.
Yeah. That's all right.
So if you decide to go with darts again, you might not be as great with them. But then again, going with anything else is going to be the same because you got a 12 in strength and a 12 in dex. So any kind of weapon you use, you're going to end up with the same +1 modifier.
It is what it is.
So now the total scores, strength is a 12.
Yep.
So we have a +1 modifier for that. Dexterity is 12.
+1.
+1 modifier for that. Constitution is going to be the 15, which gives us a +2 modifier in Constitution. Intelligence, total score is a 12 because we went with the rolled score of 11 with the +1 to the racial bonus. That brought us up to 12. So that gives us the +1 modifier, which is really nice. Then on Wisdom, we're going 16, our total score, because there's no extra bonuses on that. So we get the +3 modifier on that, which is great for Wisdom.
Yep.
Because that's
your primary stat.
That's our primary spellcasting stat. And then Charisma was an 8. We rolled an 8, but we have the +2 to racial bonus. So an 8 would give you a -1 modifier, but the +2 racial bonus brings it up to 10. So it gives you a 0 on the modifier. So we're not
completely
we're not
and
at a
utterly
disadvantage.
average.
Very average. Excellent. So let's move on then from the ability scores to the description. The fun stuff. This is
Fun stuff.
This is where Fable really likes to play around. So let's talk about the story of Dal. So you selected Hermit. Is that what you want to stick with?
Either Hermit or like Sage.
Hermit or Sage?
I want to stay with Hermit because I think we put the Sage as one of the other ones.
I don't remember.
Either way, they're a nerd.
No, that was a folk hero.
Iquium is a folk hero. And let's go to Xanros. Xanros Bimblebumble. I just love saying that name.
Oh, it was a noble.
It was a noble. So
maybe we were looking at it.
Neither are Sage or
I'm
Hermit.
good with the Hermit, though. I like that one, but I don't care.
So do you have the description of the Hermit up there, Fable?
Give me one sec.
Absolutely.
Like, should I read it out?
Yeah, please.
Okay. You lived in seclusion, either in a sheltered community such as a monastery or entirely alone for a formative part of your life. In your time, apart from the clamor of society, you found quiet, solitude, and perhaps some of the answers you were looking for.
Ooh, I like that.
I do
like
too.
that. I like that background. And you picked skill proficiency is religion. Perception
It was a choice one.
is the one you selected.
Which is always...
Which I think is a great one.
I was going to say, it's always a good one to have. Make sure your perception is a little bit bonused.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I like the Elvish.
Figured it'd come in handy.
Can't hurt, actually.
Yeah.
You know, to be absolutely honest.
Absolutely. Elvish is always a good one. But someone already speaks Elvish.
Yes,
Iquiam-
Bramble Bomble.
I thought Iquiam did.
No, Bramble Bomble.
Bumble Bumble.
We can change that too. I don't care about that.
No. I'm just saying.
I can switch mine up.
No. I think we can keep either both of them at Elvish, or we can change Bramble Bomble.
Both of them can speak the same extra languages. It's just
No reason to can't be.
no reason at all. So we got Elvish. Elvish will be the language now. Okay. Oh. Background features discovery.
Quiet seclusion of extended hermitage gives you access to unique and powerful discovery. The exact nature of the revelation depends on the nature of your seclusion. It might be a truth about the cosmos, deities, beings of outer planes, or the forces of nature. It could be a sight that no one else has seen. You may have uncovered a fact that has been long forgotten, an unearthed relic that you have found from the past to rewrite history. It might be information that would be damaging to the people who co-signed you to exile, and hence the reason for your return to society. Work with your DM to determine details of your discovery and its impact on the campaign. We have a wave to the DM, and the DM waves back.
We're talking about you.
Oh, sorry. I'm sitting with cats.
Thank you for that.
All right, that's interesting. That'll be
Sounds
fun.
very interesting. And now you already picked some of these
Characteristics.
Yes.
fables, so
I will probably go back and edit most of them when I write the backstory. So
Okay.
That's fine.
So have you thought about the backstory yet?
a little bit. I think I'm going to include the deity in a lot of it.
Okay.
Nice.
Would you like to share some of that with us?
Or do you want to wait until you finished it?
I mean, I have a little bit of it.
Give us a little sneak preview.
down. Well, their deity is a... Oh, I'm not going to pronounce this right. Wait, I'm pulling up the wiki so I know how to say it right.
That's all right.
So
Do you know how many words I've pronounced incorrectly during my time of playing D&D, especially the cinema?
See, you said it wrong again.
I know, I did it on purpose that time.
Don't forget the Tomb of Strahd.
The Tomb of Strahd.
You have to go to the apothecary for that. Yes, Fable. Sorry.
okay. The Salune or Saluna,
Mm-hmm.
it goes both ways, I guess.
Okay.
It is a moon deity,
Mm-hmm.
which is why part of the reason why Dal looks so night themed. Also part of the name.
The Dow
It
you
all
said was
comes
all
back
yeah.
together.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
It's all tied in together. That's fantastic.
All comes together.
That's very exciting. Okay, so do you want to discuss personality traits now, or you want to wait till you do the backstory to?
I mean, if you're going to
To write
change them up,
those.
maybe we should.
Because remember, you don't
detail. Yeah.
remember you don't have to use these characteristics.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna change
Okay.
some of them.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
I've helped some people create characters where they've taken the actual, like the suggested characteristic details, tweak them, and I've helped some people who've just thrown them out and just written their own.
Yeah.
I've done that once or twice myself.
That's probably what I'm gonna do. I wanted to write more about them, but very
Go
busy
for it.
school week, so I
Yeah,
just
well,
Life happens.
that's important. School is very important.
Life happens.
So tell me this. So you chose the alignment of completely neutral for Dal. So why so neutral?
Well, that also ties into the deity. They're
Okay.
very neutral.
I'm sensing
Got it.
a tapestry full of threads that I'm very curious to hear now, or see the tapestry.
Interesting.
Well, the thing about the deity is that her temperament is like the moon and constantly changes.
Very nice.
So Dal may be shifting as long as the moon is shifting.
Same with the deity. I tried to make them very
That could be a lot
intertwined,
of
which is why I'm
fun.
having problems with the backstory.
That could be a lot of fun. One day they're friendly and outgoing, and then a month later or 15 days later, they're back to being crazy. They're crazy, and then 15 days after that, they're back to being normal. I mean, that could be a lot.
I've had to look at a lot of wiki pages.
Awesome. That is going to be. That'll be a lot of fun for role playing and things like that. So that's exciting. So let's talk about your physical characteristics of.
Can I just say I love periwinkle? I mean, I'm not necessarily a huge fan of the color periwinkle, but I love the word periwinkle. So that's great.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe you should just make a character named Periwinkle.
Not Perry. Periwinkle.
Yeah. Perry, and first name Perry, last name
First
Winkle.
name Perry, last name Winkle. Periwinkle.
It would be a halfling who loved to bake, and they would use all the natural ingredients to make everything, because periwinkle is also a flower, if I'm not mistaken. And they would find a way to incorporate that. I could create a whole thing right now. Go ahead.
So,
skin color's purple.
Anyway, so back to the physical description of Dal. So tell us, Fable, what does Dal look like?
Oh, geez, I got a picture to go off of here.
Excellent. A reference picture.
Oh, yes. Oh, geez, where is it now? Okay, here we go. All right, so they're very tall. They're 6'5". My friends, they helped me with this character description, and they insisted that they must be super tall.
Which friends helped you with this?
Sophia,
hello, Sophia.
who we know and love.
That's right.
Kia.
Oh, yes, and Kia.
And Kia.
Kia as well.
Thank you both, Sophia and Kia.
Yeah, they got periwinkle skin, and they have freckles that are like...
I thought it was periwinkle hair.
Oh, shit. Oh, dusty purple skin.
Dusty purple. Ooh, that's...
If you look at the picture,
I like that description.
There's a lot of purple going on.
There's a lot of purple. There's a theme.
Definitely fits the moon theme.
I like the purple theme. I like it a lot.
Now, 6'5", including or not including the horns?
Not including the horns.
So how tall are the horns on top of that?
I did the math with the horns. Didn't I write it down?
I think you did some. I think you did.
I wrote it down somewhere.
Let's
maybe
see,
in the notes.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh wait. Where did I write it? I knew I wrote it down somewhere. It's like 7 or 7'1".
So an extra 6-7 inches on top of it.
Yeah.
Right, because what was it? 6'5"?
6'5".
All right, so it's like an extra
somewhere
6 inches, 8 inches. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's not intimidating at all.
Yeah, very excited. I'm very excited.
This is really interesting, right? Because like if you assume like a 15-day cycle, at one point it's like the angry purple monster, and at the other day it's the friendly purple healer.
Yep. Well, it will be written out soon.
No problem. I still have to do the backstory for the other two, so.
Yeah, yes, you do.
Yes, I do.
That's right. Awesome. This is such a super exciting character. So we got so much to work with here.
Yeah, you could probably post the picture on your Instagram so they know what I'm.
Absolutely. I gotta post. Well, I'm creating that Instagram post with all three, but I'm gonna do
full body.
I'm gonna do at least a torso shot
episode.
on the episode post. So
the other two have their torso shots in the episode post, so it's going to be good.
Exactly. All right, so we've got the physical characteristics down of Dal. So let's talk about
equipment.
The equipment.
So I think the herbalism kit and the javelin comes from the sage background.
Herbalism is from the hermit.
Hermit background. I'm sorry.
And I mean, javelin was proficient. So.
Oh, okay.
Proficient and common.
You cannot use a warhammer. That's hilarious.
You're not proficient. So what kind of? So you can choose from scale mail, not snail mail, scale mail, leather armor, and chain mail if proficient.
Well, first just check off the mace because.
Well, yes, you can have a mace.
So
or pepper spray, either one.
The scale, leather, or chainmail. In your head, how is Dal defended, equipped? I saw it was she using a scale or chains, or are they more like natural into the leather?
Either leather or like chain. Do you think?
That's a good question. Is this vegan leather? Like,
I don't think they care about that.
they don't care if it's
I don't think
vegan
they're not
leather
a
or
vegan.
not. Got it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, okay, they're a meat eater. Okay.
Okay. They're
Well, you're a hermit. You're out there by yourself. You got to eat something.
that's
Yeah,
fair.
yeah, this is true. This is
Very true.
I mean, you could forage just for stuff
But
and have
how
a
long
guard.
can you do that? The winter.
Well, look, I'm not a vegetarian in any way, shape, or form, but they claim to be able to do that year round. I like my meat. I like a burger and a steak.
Okay.
So you're ruling out scale mail is what you're saying.
I dig chainmail. I think chainmail would be
Chainmail.
cool.
It gives you a little extra protection over the
Yeah.
leather. Unless there was a thematic reason why you wanted to go with the leather, then I'd say, yeah, go with the chain.
No.
Do you want the light crossbow or any simple weapon? Do you want the darts? You could always have the darts. Other simple weapons, you've got dagger, club, great club, hand axe, javelin, which I think you already selected.
I did.
Um, So
Hand axes also have a thrown capability in case you wanted to think about that concept.
you always go with the boomerang.
Oh, yeah, the
Ooh.
boomerang, too. That's true.
Boomerang's fun.
I'll leave it at javelin since you already selected javelin.
Would be subject to change.
And
That's
you can
right.
always pick it up whenever we go into town because these simple weapons are not that expensive.
Now, do you want the priest's pack or the explorer's pack? So, the priest's pack includes a backpack, blanket, 10 candles, tinderbox, an alms box, 2 blocks of incense, a censer, vestments, 2 days of rations, and a water skin. Or the explorer's pack, the backpack, bedroll, mess kit, tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin. The pack also has 50 feet of hempen rope strapped to the side of it.
I'm thinking explorer's pack.
Good choice. I agree. I think it's a good one.
Yeah, the only reason to go with the priest pack is if that's going to be more how the character is and you want to kick into a thematic aspect of it.
Yeah, and also if they're a hermit, they don't really have much purpose for that. They can do their own stuff.
As a hermit, but
themselves.
the cleric class would still endear that concept. though.
Yeah,
But
I know,
I
but
get you with the hermit. The explorer's pack would make more sense for a hermit.
Absolutely.
So now you get a shield. So when you start to think about your weapon of choice, decide if you want to have a two-handed weapon or a weapon that you can use one-handed and get that +2 bonus, right? I'm sorry, I'm talking to you like you haven't played before.
Really, Joe. It's okay.
I've played
So,
Heroic.
so you can have a holy symbol, an amulet, an emblem, reliquary, or holy symbol.
Anything that you can describe.
I think you should consider putting the moon on your shield.
I like that.
So that's just a thought. Again, it's your character, so that's just what popped into my
I
head.
can't see those options on my phone, so I'm trying to look on here. Does that say rosary?
Reliquary.
Reliquary.
Reliquary is like a larger thing that's been blessed or has mystical powers that people tend to have. It kind of fits in with all of these terminologies and stuff like that, but it's more of an actual relic than an actual just like a little amulet or a little symbol.
I'm thinking I might do.
Like the shield would fit the reliquary concept.
I'm thinking I might do an amulet. 'Cause you can't go wrong with that.
Ooh, an amulet's always
I
nice.
could also paint on the moon to the shield anyway. So.
Yes, you could.
So my thought about this, and this is for more of a backstory aspect. And again, your character, do what you want. Your discovery was that you might have been able to go and find something that disproved what everybody else always thought about the deity or whatever. You could make whatever you found, the amulet could have been this thing that you found that concluded or did some type of resolution to some big argument. And that would be an addition aspect for your story.
Maybe. I have to think about it.
Absolutely.
I was thinking the amulet because her sacred gemstone is moonstone. So you can make that into
Yeah, easily.
an amulet.
Whatever you want.
They also say that silver is the solidified version of her tears.
Oh, okay. I've always I've read different novels and stuff like that. Silver is like solidified moonlight. So silver, anything silver
They
fits
said
in nicely.
moonlight or her tears. So
Yeah.
there was a couple different routes with it.
Nice. So you let us know when you figure that one out. I like
do
that.
An amulet.
Amulet.
Yeah.
Amulet it is. All right, so
Plus the hermit starting equipment.
I love this. It's like the hermit start. How to start being a hermit. Here's your starter kit.
Your starter
Here's
kit.
your hermit starter kit.
So it's the starting equipment for a hermit in D&D. To be more precise,
Yes.
you get a scroll case stuffed with notes from your studies or your prayers. That's underneath other possessions. You get a winter blanket, which again makes sense. You're out in the hermitage or you're all by yourself. Common clothes, because you don't tend to be overly fancy. An herbalism kit. And a pouch containing 5 gold. I always thought that was a little interesting. Why would a hermit have that much? But it works.
Well, they don't have they're probably selling stuff, but they live a very modest lifestyle, so it's not like they're spending their gold on a lot of other things. And
savings.
This is true. This is the whole life saving. There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's their whole life savings in a pouch.
So then click the ad.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you? It's only been like the 3rd time you've done this on the podcast.
I told you how many. I told you I've got like 40 characters.
I know. I said on the podcast.
Okay. All right. So much stuff. Now I'm going to remove one of these herbalism kits because you don't need 2. Remove item. And you're wielding. All right. So you're going to wield the javelin. You're going to wear the shield.
Yeah. And the chainmail.
Yeah, and the chainmail. And use the backpack? Why not?
Yeah. All right.
All right. So I think we're good, right?
I think that's everything.
All right. So let's move on to that. And now we're going to look at the actual character sheet for Dal. Right. Oh, you got an armor class of 18. That is nice.
That's nasty.
That is really nice. But you do have disadvantage on stealth because of that chainmail.
That's all right. Probably. Maybe. We'll find out.
Well, like dexterity wasn't one of your
big points here.
your big ability scores anyway, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. Let's see what else. So you got strength +1, dexterity +1, constitution +2, intelligence +1, wisdom +3. Very nice. Yeah, because look at those hit DCs. You got a +5 for guiding, bolt, and inflict wounds. Nice. Very nice. Well, that's gonna be a lot of fun. You got your resistance to fire, starting with 10 hit points. Now, see again, your walking speed is going to be only 20 feet.
You need to have a 13 in order to wear heavy armor and not experience a penalty. So the options are experience a 10-foot movement penalty,
Right.
or switch to leather armor. And the 10-foot movement penalty obviously would just be during combat. Which my suggestion is leave it alone.
So it has to be a 13?
And needs to have a 13 for strength.
So theoretically, you could wait till level 4 and use your ability score increase to up strength to the 13, and then you're...
That's one way to do it. But the thing is, the vast majority of combats, they're not on huge fields.
Right.
So losing 10 feet, especially when half of your arsenal is a ranged attacks anyway, it doesn't matter. Keep the extra armor class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Sounds fine.
Got it. Good to know. See, we're just learning stuff left and right.
So everybody remember that. For heavy armor...
I feel like the star is shooting across the sky.
Yeah.
It says, the more
you know.
Yes.
For heavy armor, you need a minimum strength of 13 in order to avoid a movement penalty.
Got it. And that's a pretty big movement penalty, 10 feet.
10 feet.
That's a third of your movement.
Again, though, it doesn't
it's only
really...
that's why every turn, so...
It doesn't really matter for a character whose half of their attack is based upon range anyway. It doesn't come into play.
Right.
Well, we'll find out. Unless Fable decides to change it we'll see how the combat affects with a 20 movement speed in the first couple episodes.
We'll find out.
We'll see. I'm thinking
Stay
because
tuned.
of my inflict wounds. It's a touch.
But you'll be in range on the second turn, definitely.
Yeah.
For sure.
It'll work out.
And unless we end up in some wide combat encounters, which, having run this 3 times, I don't think there's many of them.
Okay.
No, I think we'll be in a good position for that.
All right.
Excellent. So we've got our third character.
Dun, dun, dun.
So exciting. Fable, thank you so much for joining us today on the podcast. This was great to have your insight on tieflings and clerics both. So I'm very excited. Sometime shortly after the new year, we will begin the actual play of Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk, with our 3 characters.
So mysterious.
So, Joe, you were going to say something about the group name.
So what was the name again?
The Heroes of Havoc?
So we had, between you and I, basically decided that you were going to play the warlock.
Right.
And I was going to play the monk.
Right.
The monk has a very low charisma. So we are...
Typecast.
Yeah. Well, not really typecast.
I'm saying you're typecast because you have low charisma.
Thank you.
I'm
That's
just
why.
kidding.
But this is why it is, because my natural personality would be to say something that is a bungling comment that shouldn't be necessarily said. So therefore,
But that's exactly
Got
what
no
this character
race.
should. That's
that's my point. So I am typecast. Thanks a
Yes.
lot. So
You're welcome.
that's my point here, is that, the character is probably going to say things that probably shouldn't be said at certain times and awkward statements,
Right.
which is something we kind of built into the backstory already. So it should be interesting. So the Heroes of Havoc makes sense because I'm going to be running around causing havoc. Dal is going to be, every 2 weeks is going to have something crazy happening.
Changing with the moon.
We don't know what to expect.
So
I don't know what to expect.
the warlock
write
is
it.
going to be the sane one.
I don't know about that. I don't know because the warlock is feeble. I mean, the warlock is barely going to be able to get himself out into the battle. And then all he's got to do is just draw all of his strength to fire Eldritch Blast. And that's it.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to just summon all of his strength just to cast a spell.
Isn't he a drunk?
What's that?
Isn't he a drunk?
No. So he has, his vice is that, well, he loves the vices of the big city, especially hard drink. So he's not a drunk all the time.
Okay.
He only
but-
drinks in the
Sometimes.
city.
But when you're in a village or a town, he is going to take advantage of all the seedier side of.
So try to steer away from taverns is what I'm hearing.
That's for sure.
Good luck.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be coming to you and be like, can you give me something for my hangover?
Nope.
Make him learn the lesson. I love it.
Wow.
Suffer the consequences
So
of your
much love.
actions.
Sorry, not sorry.
So much love for my character.
All right. So yes, we're going to start that up in the new year.
Yes.
And then I believe we also discussed doing an analysis episode after the playthrough.
yes. So we'll probably set it up like every month, do a playthrough, an actual play of Phandelver and Below, do a recap episode and kind of a debrief analysis of everything that happened and talk about it as far as things first level players want to and as we grow, what things players want to keep in mind. We'll probably do some interview episodes as well, and we'll continue that part of it, and maybe we'll do some
Standalone topics.
We'll do some standalone topics as well.
Yeah.
And then we've got our cooking segment, which
so I was actually
we're going to
thinking,
introduce. I hope.
I was thinking actually with the analysis episode, it
Yes.
might not take up the same amount of
That's
time
true.
as everything. So I was thinking the cooking segment can be the tack on the back end.
That would be amazing.
And then we can actually get back. We were doing legend, loot, and lore. We can go back to doing we only did it once. The special loot. Remember we were going to do a loot section.
Yes.
We can get back to that with the standalone episode.
Absolutely. So
Hey,
we've got
a lot of exciting stuff coming in the new year.
yeah. So I don't know what's going to happen the rest of this year. We'll figure that out. But Yeah, I have no clue. I've got no clue what's coming up in the next month. We'll see, but we've got so much planned for the new year, so it's really exciting. We're looking forward to that. So stick around and we'll see you at the. Well, I don't want to say we'll see you after the holidays because I'll probably do other episodes, but.
Well, we'll be releasing other episodes, but we might not record something together before the new year. Let's put it that way.
The full, hopefully right after the beginning of the new year, the three of us the four of us really with our DM, Catherine can get together and
start this up
and play because Catherine is almost done with her MBA.
Yay!
So once she finishes with that, then
she'll be the true DM.
She can focus on the module and starting that up. But there's so much going on. So we'll see. So thank you everyone. Thank you, Joe, for being back for a couple episodes. This was great to have you back after the fall soccer season. So that was nice. And Fable, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been really exciting. Nice to have you over at the house again.
It's not like I'm here every day.
Exactly. So maybe we'll do another podcast episode when you're over.
Fun.
Sure, we'll figure something else to talk about. Well, I'll be talking about PAX Unplugged.
Yep.
So that's coming up.
That's coming up.
That's next weekend. I am super psyched about that. Hopefully get some good interviews from that. I'm excited. Matt Mercer is like the keynote guest.
Oh, that'd be cool. You can get your impressions from his speak.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear what he has to say. I think Beetle and Grims is going to be there with Faster Purple Worm Kill. And I think they're doing like a live episode there.
Oh, nice.
So there's
I want to hear you yelling so I can hear it on the YouTube.
Absolutely. So anyway, again, thank you all so much for listening in. We look forward to our next episode and talking to you again. Have a great
good
day,
night, everybody.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Legends, Loot, and Lore. We hope you've enjoyed immersing yourself in the realms of legends, uncovering hidden loot, and delving into captivating lore. But the journey doesn't end here. For exclusive content, behind-the-scenes insights, and access to our community, visit legendslootandlore.supercast.com. There you'll be able to support the podcast, where you can join our Discord server for lively discussions and subscriber-only content, and connect with fellow enthusiasts. Stay connected with us on Instagram and Facebook at Legends, Loot, and Lore to continue on the quest. By following our social media channels, you'll be the first to know about upcoming episodes, bonus content, and exciting announcements. If you've enjoyed your time with us, we kindly ask you to rate and subscribe to this podcast. Your support means the world to us and helps us continue producing captivating episodes and embarking on new quests. Thank you for being a part of our journey. We're thrilled to have you by our side as we unravel the legends, uncover the loot, and delve deeper into the lore. Until next time.